Hello everyone, it's Friday, yay! Just make sure I'm up. Hello, TGIF. How's everybody doing? Hi Brittany! Do you remember when Friday used to be exciting because we could actually go somewhere? Do you remember that? I don't remember. I mean, I remember it vaguely like it used to be the thing, but it's not anymore. Friday is just the same as Mondays. Working on my American flag tumbler wall hanging tonight. Nice. In time for 4th of July, Brittany. All right. If you're on Facebook, give me a wave. Tell me where you're from. Just to make sure everybody is on here. All right, so SEW. This week has been a brutal week. I think it was the short, for once I'm ahead. Isn't that a good feeling? Oh, someone gave their, is this Rose from Tennessee Rose Begone? Is that what your Insta handle is, or is this a different Rose? Oh, Bob. No, this is Rose from Tennessee. Hi, sweetheart. Good. Carolyn Boston Simmons from Renton is here. Good. And my friend Mary from Seattle. Hi. So today I am sipping something different because it is a warm day here in Seattle. It is 78, and for us Seattleites, that's hot. Oh, Australia, made by Jillian. How hot is it there? I was talking to my mom-in-law in Arizona, and she told me it was 111. Good Lord, 111. Bridget Clayton Welsh on Facebook said, hot Arizona. 11 is like pizza oven. Hello, Quilts for Gizzes. Pizza oven temperature. Anyway, so today I'm not sipping wine or anything. 118. Brittany, girl, you need to move to Seattle. That's horrible. It's not even June yet. So today I'm drinking boba. So for those of you who don't know what boba is, it's an icy, cold, delicious beverage, and it has little boba balls that have this really sweet, like syrupy liquid in them, and they pop in your mouth, and it's like those Pop Rocks when we were kids, those candy things. They're delicious. Hi, Lisa Meadows. Becky, you made it! Yay! From Texas. 87. Yikes, you guys. Who else is here? Oh, South Wales, UK here. Hello, Rooftop. Is it a Tealer? I don't know how to say it, sorry. Working on cataloging and researching my vintage sewing machine collection. That sounds like an awesome use of time. I am supposed to be working on this Tula pink quilt. Oh, and Ellie's here. Hi, Ellie Campbell. Another Centerville, Texas. She just cleaned and oiled her featherweight. Well, that is music to my ears. That's amazing. Today I've had a couple of machines in on service this week, and where I thought they were going to be quick and easy. Oh, Carlsbad, California. I love Carlsbad. That's where Legoland is. They were not quick and easy. It seemed like everything that could go wrong with them did go wrong with them, and so I allotted myself like an hour mid-morning to get through them. Yeah, I just got through them this afternoon. And I have 2 machines to send off, one of which is Becky's. Yay! I'm all done with the service. Miss Becky, it's all in her box, and I just haven't finished wrapping up everything tight, but it should be done this evening and off to you tomorrow. So, yay! Mississippi, Joanne Keeney from Mississippi. How hot is it in Mississippi? I bet it's warm. The thing about 118, 62 in Carlsbad, of course, you have the ocean breeze. Almost Haven, West Virginia. Nice. I love that. We were in northern Idaho last week, and there was a property, we purchasing a property there as a place to go camping and such. And there was they name their cabins there, and there was one called Almost Home, or yeah, Almost Heaven. That was what it was called. I thought that was kind of a cool name. We're still trying to name our property. Haven't come up with a name yet. Hello from South Brazil. How are you? Thanks for joining us. What's the weather like down there? Joanne Keeney said, hot in Mississippi. I don't think I've ever been to Mississippi. Where did I go? I used to, years ago when I was a young lady, I worked in telecom, and I did Mobile, Alabama. I've been to Mobile, Alabama, but not Mississippi. 80 in West Virginia. That's nice. That's not too bad. In Seattle, 76 is hot. We're kind of wimps up here. We like our cold weather. Literally 60 is swimsuit weather. Literally. Okay, Darlene, we should actually sew because it's supposed to be a sew along. A sip and sew with my boba. All right. I see I have my yellow featherweight today. I decided to give Minnie a break. She's been putting in some good hours on this project. Let's tip this down a little bit so you guys can see a little better. Oh, cuts off my head a little bit. That's okay. So, what's everybody working on? Let's see here. How does this go? All right. Cold and 64 in Brazil. Sounds perfect. Marilla. How are we doing this, Darlene? There. Okay. So a couple machines are leaving the orphanage this week. I have a beautiful 222 leaving the orphanage this week. Spa day for Bob. Nice, Rose. And a really nice 46. This was the machine I did my free motion demonstration with last weekend when I had that really bad connection, and I don't know how much of it you guys saw. Whoa, goodness gracious. Because the camera or the Wi-Fi was kind of bad. Let's see, Granny Squares along with beautiful 82 degrees in Virginia. That sounds pretty amazing. Anyway, what I wanted to tell you was, I don't know if you guys, I know Instagram can see, but I don't think Facebook can see. This machine that I'm working on, which is my daughter's, see how it has a black motor on it? It's a new motor. Sorry, I dropped my scissors. Can't drop your scissors. We had originally painted this machine for to be sold, and my daughter kind of fell in love with it and she claimed it. And so but because my daughter is young, Sweetwater, Texas, hi Lindawood from Sweetwater, Texas, and Barbara Sullivan, sun finally shining after days of rain here in Manchester, Tennessee. That's awesome. Ellie, Mike, oh, your connection was good last week, Ellie? Everybody's connection was not good last week. Anyway, so what we did, because I am the quality control before any machines leave the building, and it wasn't fast enough for me with its original motor, which was yellow. And so I had my husband swap the motor out to this black aftermarket motor, and now she flies like just as fast as any of my modern machines, for sure. My daughter loves her, and she's kind of a snot about it, actually. She'll be like, I don't want to use any other machine other than my yellow machine. And she calls her Bee, like Bumble Bee. Well, and so she refuses to use any other machine other than Bee if I take her to a show with me. So I always think that's kind of fun. Okay, I have to pay attention this week because I'm putting together. So if you guys remember with this quilt, you have a square, and then you end square it with an inch and a half, an inch and a half strip, and then you start adding half square triangles to the outside of it. And so you have to pay attention which way they're going, otherwise I'll be using the seam ripper, and I don't care to do that because seam ripping is literally the opposite. You know, it's like it's not even like reverse sewing, it's literally taking stuff out, which I don't like to do. Okay. For those of you who are curious, I am working on a project called Cross Your Heart. It's a pattern by Quilt Addicts Anonymous and Stephanie. She designed it specifically around the Tula Pink homemade collection. And those of you who know me, you know I'm a bit of a nerd when it comes to Tula Pink and her fabric. And she recently, I saw a YouTube an Instagram live this week, she's dropping another new collection, which is more like her Blenders Basic collection. Oh, good Lord. I need more Tula Pink fabric. Yeah, unsewing, exactly. I need more Tula Pink fabric like I need a hole in my head. But I can't help myself. So Bridget says, can the hot weather affect your belts? Mine is looser lately. Maybe time for a new one. Actually, the weather, Bridget, that's actually a really good question. The weather won't, the temperature won't affect the belt, but it's slipping just might mean that you might need to give it a little adjustment to give it a little bit more tension so that it doesn't slip when you start sewing. It also could be a sign of it needing to be replaced. If you see any like threads, like it's starting to look like it's threading on the outside, or any significant wearing, then that could be a symptom that the belt needs to be changed out. So I might try to adjust it first, and how you do that, let me show you how to do that real quick. I'm going to unplug this so I can turn the machine around. Okay. So, SEW. Boop, 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 boop. So there's a screw right back here, right past the neck of the machine, exactly, right there. And you'll notice that it can slide in an oval. It has about a 1/2 inch of play. And in order to have better tension on your belt, you will loosen that screw. You don't need to take it out. It's not a big deal if you do, but you don't need to. And then just ever so slightly move the belt down a little bit, or I'm sorry, the motor on the motor mount down a little bit. Like we're talking like a millimeter, like not very much. Just give it a little bit more tension. If you're at the bottom of that oval, that 1/2 inch of give, then it's time for a new belt. It means it's totally worn out. But you might be able to just get a little bit more life out of it by lowering the motor a smidge by adjusting the screw behind the motor. That's a good question. Thanks. I look forward to Fridays every Friday afternoon. I look forward to coming on here with you guys. You just make me happy. I think even after my quarantine is over with, which here in Seattle, our governor is bipolar. No, I'm just kidding. He's just trying to keep everybody safe. I get that. But because of that, he's not letting us out of jail yet. And we've been in for 2.5 months. And it wants the numbers to be at a certain place before he'll open up the restaurants and stuff again. Hello. And no one knows when that's going to be yet. So we're kind of in indefinitely still. And it's getting harder to be obedient with the weather getting so nice outside, because all you want to do is go out and go sit by the lake, or have a picnic, or take a hike. But everybody has the same idea, so those things are too crowded to go to. Okay. As soon as I get one of these blocks complete, I'll show you guys what it looks like. Woo! Fast. So did you guys catch my my Wednesday live? I had a good friend of mine and colleague, another female boss babe on with me. Her name is Mindy, and she owns a shop in Snohomish, Washington called Quilting Mayhem, which I think the name in and of itself is very cool. Bridget, let me know how that goes when you do the adjustment. Anyway, she was on and talking about how her business has changed since quarantine started, and she actually gave a little tour of her shop. And so, hi Lisa from upstate New York. And I just thought I had a couple of people comment to me about how now they want to come out to Snohomish, Washington, because they want to check out Mindy's shop. It really is that impressive. I actually haven't been, at least in this area, to anything as huge and beautiful as her shop. She has 17,000 square feet of retail space. Hi Artie from Kansas, how you doing? Which is impressive in and of itself, especially in our real estate market. But the fact that she has all of the upstairs is like classroom and event space and all of that. I mean, that is just very cool for me to have access to for classes and workshops and all that fun stuff. Hi, Mary Van Tassel from Northwest Florida. Mary, you'll probably laugh. I was just complaining that I'm so hot today in Seattle at 78 degrees, and you're in Florida. Doesn't this machine purr? She's so fast. Okay, we're getting there. Do you guys see how I'm building this? Okay, so now I just have the top row across. Oops, I got 2 more little squares to put on the end. I can't wait to have weekend plans again. Like, you know, maybe a dinner, date with the hubs. Really just plans in general I'm excited about. Oh, you're in Hillsboro. Be so kind. I like your Insta handle. That's so cool. The extent of our plans these days include yard work. Green Hills, Missouri. Hi, Janet. How are you? Lots of gardening. I've really, during this whole season, have really kind of tried to grow my green thumb. I usually kill plants. All right, so here are my 2 end pieces. You guys see these? Okay. So now I'm going to make sure I get the right one on the right side. Okay. On Facebook, I have Lisa saying I have a 1941 feather. Oh, you have a black side. That has slowed down. What do you think I should check on the machine? Okay, so Lisa, I have a couple of follow-up questions for you. First, when was the last time you put any grease in the motor or oiled any of her lubrication points? Because she might just be thirsty. The belt also might be worn out. And when you say that she has slowed down, do you mean that she's sewing fast and then all of a sudden slows down? Or do you mean that she's progressively getting slower every time you turn her on? Hello from North Kentucky. How are you? Debbie, Alan Sinclair. Hello, Emily Quilts. This is my Friday evening sip and sew. I am sipping boba from Lollipop Tea Boba Coffee Slush and Smoothie, and I am working on my Tula quilt, my Tula pink quilt. All right, one side. We're getting there. We're getting there. Oh, thank you. Lisa Quilt said, or Emily Quilt says, I love your work. Wish the freight charges weren't more on that machine. Are you in Australia, Emily? Where are you at? Okay. So Lisa, to follow up to Lisa's question on Facebook, said Saturday, the whole machine, she just became slower, only one speed. Okay. So if you were sewing for a while, thank you, Lisa. I'm assuming you mean very pretty to my machine. It probably is just that you have to oil her, and the motor might need to be serviced. Your machine, that black side machine, the 1941, is a highly collectible machine. It's very important that you take good care of her. Oh, Emily Quilts is in Massachusetts. Nice. I was born in New England, in Manchester, New Hampshire. My dad worked in Worcester, Mass. So what I would do, Lisa, is if you email me, I can help you over the phone, probably a little easier than you and I. We are neighbors. Well, when I lived there. Now I'm in Seattle. Then us going back and forth. So Lisa, email me at info, I-N-F-O, @featherweightdoctor.com, and I'm totally happy to help you over the phone with why your machine's slowing down. It probably is that it just needs some lubrication on your oil points. Yeah, on your oil points, and that you probably need to service your motor, so you'll need some grease. And it also could be, yeah, I'm going to go with those two things first, because it could be a couple other things, but I don't want to chase a rabbit hole without being able to ask you questions a little bit more rapid fire style. So if you email me, I will call you, and then we will talk about it. Lisa, what part of the country are you in? Cool. She's going to call me. Some of you may know me because I was your quilting teacher, and some of you may know that I used to be a long arm quilter. I still do some long arm quilting. You probably can see my machine behind me. But just for good friends now. Let's see. Is your favorite way to sew? Favorite way to sew, or do you like EPFPP? I don't know what that is, Emily. What is your favorite? Is this your favorite way to sew? You mean quilt? Or because I am not a sewist. I don't do clothing. Oh, Lisa, you're in Delaware. Okay, nice. Okay, so you're on the East Coast. I'm a master quilter, so I do actually this quilt, this Tula quilt that I'm working on. Oh, English paper. So I haven't got in the foundation paper piecing is FPP. Okay, I'm tracking you now. I mostly machine piece. Although I will say during quarantine, I have lost my mind, and I decided that I needed to learn how to English paper piece. You guys want to see what I was working on? I have not made very much progress. Let me look for it. Okay, no laughing because I am terrible. But I decided I bought this kit from this kit for English paper piecing. And I watched a couple of YouTube videos by this Sue Daly lady on, and she had a great teaching guide out on YouTube. And then you guys want to see what I made? I know it's a big shocker that it's Tula. Look what I made so far. Isn't it cute? Look, I fussy cut all those little diamonds out of the center. Uh-oh. Hold on, what happened? Hang on, guys. Sorry, I just got kicked off. What happened? Oh, sorry, guys. I don't know how I got logged out. I think Facebook is still okay, though. Anyway, but look at my little English paper piecing. Isn't that cute? Sorry about that, guys. I don't know how I fell off. So all of a sudden, it just said I got logged out. Anyway, that is as far as I've gotten in quarantine. 2 little pieces for English paper piecing. And foundation paper piecing is not my favorite either. I'm just really not into like the tedious things. I like instant gratification. Like the fact that I just whipped together this block in like a few minutes. This is the kind of stuff I like to do. Instant gratification. That. Okay, what am I doing next? Hi, sorry I got kicked off. I don't know how I got logged out. So EPP is English paper piecing or foundation piecing. So Carol Boston Simmons, she was asking me, Emily Quilts was asking me about what kind of quilting I like doing, mostly just piecing. I do some foundation paper piecing. Not really my favorite, but I can do it. And I do some English paper piecing all by hand. It's like, and I always joked around with my students for years that hand was a 4-letter word, that God created sewing machines and he expects us to use them. But I actually, there's something about tucking up like with a movie on in the background and just, you know, kind of doing some English paper piecing, and it kind of makes me happy. I don't do any binding work anymore, like hand binding work. I do all of my bindings by machine. So it kind of makes me happy to do some slow stitching, if you will. Okay, I have to push this up because I got to trim some of these. Hang on, I got to grab my ruler. Oh, thank you, Janet. Okay. All right. So in my directions for this quilt, it has you, do the half square triangle method where you have to trim it down to the right size after you have your 2 half square triangles made. Oh goodness, let's not cut myself. Almost got it. It's hard to believe it's almost June 1st, huh? Time flies when you're in quarantine. All you ladies on here from Texas, you guys are opening up now, so you've been able to get out. That must be nice. My mom and dad live in Texas, which is why I know that. Not sure where I wore a black dress in here. Gonna collect every single thread in the county. I have a hair appointment next week, and it's gonna get postponed again because we're still in phase 1 of our reopening plan here in Washington State, and I might be taking desperate measures here shortly. Oh, you're in phase 2, Rose? So lucky. I don't want to run out and hug everybody. I know that's not safe, but I just want to be able to go out and do the errands I need to do without having to shop online or, well, I think we're going to be wearing masks through the summer, but Costco has mandatory masks just to get in the front door. Rose, are you still with your parents? You got a haircut. I'm so jealous. Becky, I'm so jealous. You got out? That's amazing. Oh, Bridget Clayton Welsh from Arizona says she's a Cape Facet addict. I don't know if we can be friends. I like cave too. Oh, Linda Wood said that they were able to go out and eat. And oh, you guys, it's coming. It just isn't here yet. I always kind of considered myself kind of a homebody. So being home all the time is not as bad as it could be, but I'm after 2.5 months, I'm ready for a change of pace. Oh, you're not with your parents anymore, but I still packed up to go, ready to go back soon. Oh, they're in Mobile Meals. Okay. Okay. Cutting done. All right. I know, Carol. So when we were in Idaho last weekend, Carol Boston Simmons, we they're doing a slow open, so they had like a restaurant that was at basically half capacity, and so we went in and someone else cooked my meal and someone else cleaned up the kitchen and someone else picked up my plate from the table. I was like, it's the best. Then we come back home to Seattle and we're still still in jail basically. Mississippi is out partially, went shopping for necessities and came straight back home. I know, Joanne, doesn't it kind of mess with your mind? Because I remember for the first couple weeks of this, thinking every time I went to Costco, which wasn't very often, I've only been to Costco like every 2 weeks for our, basic food run. You just come back and you just think, did I catch it while I was at Costco? But finally stopped doing that. Thinking I was going to get sick every time I went outside. I was trying to decide on this quilt because it's my winter quilt for next winter. What kind of fabric I want to put on the back of it. If I want to do a flannel, because in Seattle it gets pretty cold and damp here in the winter time, or do I want to buy an extra wide and minky? What do you guys think? Hi, Mom. And the masks are hot. Yes, they are. The spas are open. Oh, look at you. I can't tell you how many times during this whole thing I thought, I could really use a massage. I'm pretty stressed out. And then everything's closed. I'm hoping to have a new product announcement next week. Oh, flannel, Debbie? Really? I kind of was thinking flannel too, because I feel like Carol Boston Simmons said that her pedicure looks like a caveman. Oh, and Becky, you're on the flannel vote too? Okay. The only thing I like heavy quilts, and the minky would be nice and heavy is all I was thinking. But the flannel would stick on the bed really well, because nothing drives me more insane, because my husband has to wrestle the blankets every night, and then he yards them up and they're all over the place. But flannel helps it kind of stick to the sheets a little better, so that way I'm not straightening the bed every night before I get in. Am I the only one that does that? Oh shoot, I hate when I do that. I didn't have a hold of my tails and I unthreaded my needle. You taught your husband to go for a pedicure? Nice job, Rose. My husband and I were out for a walk last night, and we were talking about the governor of Washington and his wishy-washy back and forth stuff for opening, and he was saying that our numbers have to be at a certain point for 2 weeks before he'll let us go into phase 2, and phase 2 is still limited open, and the number that we have to reach for 2 straight weeks before we can open is 16 new cases in a day, and just Wednesday we had 55, so we haven't even started the 2-week thing yet, and I'm like, oh. So we were talking, and I said, you don't think it's going to be August before they let us out, do you? He's like, I hope not. Okay, here's my ends. Aren't they cute? I was pretty shocked when I told my husband of my plans to put this on our bed, and he was totally fine with it having as much pink on it. Actually, it goes like this, as it does. Cannot get Bob's bobbin case back in. Did you hold the little arm on it, Rose, so that it pops right back in? I know, Carol. Carol said, I hate to say it, but it doesn't look like this is the end of it. Next winter will tell. I know. I'm making plans for shows and stuff next winter, and I don't have a lot of confidence that I'm going to be able to teach any of the things that I'm setting up right now. I moved the jib to the right. The base won't go in. Hello, Cool Branch Quiltery. I am piecing a Tula pink quilt. Thanks for joining us. Today is your first day. I'm on here every Friday afternoon in Seattle, evening on the East Coast. It's a bed-size quilt called Cross Your Heart, and it's made with Tula pink fabric, the homemade line. I'm a huge Tula pink fan, and this is a quilt for my bed next winter. It's 96 by 96 square, and it has kind of a modern feel to it. There's a lot of negative space. I don't have the pattern out today, I don't think. But it's a big heart in the middle, and then there's all this negative space around it. It's a big oversized heart. Rose, you might need to send me a picture of that to get the bobbin back in. So I call this my Cool Branch Quiltery. I call this my sip and sew. So normally I have a glass of wine or something because it's happy hour here in the Seattle area. But today I'm drinking boba. Well, I was drinking boba. While I sew on my yellow featherweight. Look how cute, you guys.
Reagan's yellow feather.
My husband just reminded me, this actually isn't my featherweight, it's my daughter's. Where are you located, Cool Branch Quiltery? Bridget, I agree. It is like sewing with a buddy. I can't tell you how happy it makes me that you ladies join me while I'm sitting here quilting away on my featherweight. It makes me feel like I'm not quite as isolated and siloed as sometimes I feel during this quarantine. So it makes me happy. I think they're going to continue even after we all are let out of jail. So every Friday afternoon at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I am on here for an hour, just sewing away and chit-chatting with you ladies. And it is the highlight of my week. It really is. Cool Branch Quiltery is in Maryland. Are you a long arm quilt shop or a fabric shop or both? Quilty friends, Brittany. I mean Stephanie, I mean Brittany. I saw your wedding pictures, Brittany. Good Lord. I mean, you are stunning anyway, but that dress was gorgeous. I was totally stalking you. Prairieville, or I'm private LA. I'm a private LA. Oh, long armor. Nice. Do you see? Oh, you can't see because you're on Instagram. I have a Millennium behind me, an APQS Millennium. You let your mom pick your wedding dress out? She has excellent taste. Barbara Sullivan says, you have tempted me long enough with that machine. I am definitely ready for one just like it. Yes, Becky, definitely something wonderful to come out of quarantine. My husband, who will take all of the credit for this in the world, has been trying to get me to do these little sew-ins for like 2 years. And I was too chicken. I think I've told you guys this before. I was too chicken to get on here, and I was worried no one would come on with me and join me, and that I'd be sitting here by myself sewing and talking to myself. But that hasn't happened even one time. Oh, she says, I host, so Cool Branch Quiltery says that she hosts a small stitching group 2 Fridays a month. They stitch via Zoom now, of course. It does help with the solitude. Thanks for sewing with us. That's awesome. Barbara warning. Okay, you guys are cracking me up. So Barbara Sullivan said I've tempted her long enough with the sewing machine. She wants a yellow sewing machine. And Carol Boston Simmons said, Barbara, warning. You won't be able to just have one featherweight. That is so SEW true. I always say featherweights are like cats and grandchildren. You just start to collect them, whether even like not even biologically your grandchildren. You just start collecting them. I only can collect non-biological grandchildren at this point because neither one of my children are old enough to be married or have babies. Oh, one more seam and I'll have 2 blocks done. Barbara Sullivan says, I'm serious. I'm actually a little surprised someone hasn't noticed that I'm not using an iron. True, once you have one, you want more. Oh, it's so true. I always tell people though, like I just sold a younger lady in Colorado this week, that 46 that I'm shipping, and it was her first featherweight. And I always encourage, oh, good Lord, I did it again. Ladies, you have to hold your tails, otherwise it unthreads itself. I always say that you should start with a black machine. He's holding up. You don't want to, you can start with a painted machine, but I honestly believe that your first featherweight should be black, because I feel like you need to develop a respect for what the original designers and architects' intent is for the machine, and that was the black ones. So I always encourage people who are new to featherweights, start with a black one, and then a year down the road, if you are still pining for a hot pink one, if you want a orange one, then get it, but start with the black one. So Lisa Meadows, who's a very good friend of mine in Arizona, says, I have 4 so far. I thought we were stopping at 4. She said she had a black 221 for my birth year, a white 221, black 222, and then a tan 221. Now maybe a brightly pink one. We could talk, Lisa. You've earned a colored one. What would your husband say? He's not going to let us be friends anymore. I feel like a pusher, like a beautiful featherweight pusher. So Cool Branch Quilter, he says, I only have 1 featherweight 1934. Is she a school belle? Do you know if she is the first production year on the 34? Oops. Too much chatting, not enough paying attention. Barbara Sullivan says, I have 2 black ones already. Nice. I had, right before all the shutdown happened, I did a workshop during the big Sew Expo here in Seattle, and I sold out all of my workshops, so I ended up having to schedule another workshop in a town close to where the expo was being held. And I met this really nice lady. Her name was Lisa Sullivan, and she vintage and homespun says, I have 15. Girl child, I have 15, 3 celery, 1 beige, and the rest black. That is quite a collection. So I met this gal. She's very sweet, Lisa Roberts, and she had her first featherweight there, and she was totally thrilled to learn how to take care of her. And then she has called me like 2 or 3 times during quarantine because she has got the bug, and now she's collecting them from all over the place. And I feel like I'm a bad influence. In fact, one of the machines I was working on today in the repair shop was one for her sister that Lisa picked up. The electrical was messed up and the cording and all of that, so I had to do a little magic operation on her, but she's running great now. But Lisa Roberts, I've turned her into a total collector. So Carol Boston Simmons says, I'm into all the colors, but I do have a black one. She said, I'm saving the colored ones from the scrap pile. That's exactly what I do. So just in case anybody is interested, I only paint the machines that are in the scrap pile, that literally have no value. They're not running, they're not working. It looks like the dog has chewed on them. And those are the ones that I take and I pick a color and I paint them. I get shamed a lot on the internet because they say that I'm devaluing them and ruining them. I do not have a vendetta against the black machine. I have the utmost respect for the original designers, architecture, and engineering of the black featherweight. But the ones that are sad, you have to give them a new color. You pick them up, make them new again, and then send them on for a new life, second life, if you will. Lisa says he doesn't even know how many I have, and I won't tell. Your secret's safe with me, girl. That's funny. All right, one last seam here, and then I'm at my hour, so they're going to disconnect us all. John Henry says hello, hello. All right. Nice. Someone just got a Centennial Black BA1 Pratt. I actually don't have a Centennial in my personal collection. That's one I haven't added yet. Maybe someday. I have 6 in my personal collection. That's probably pretty good. All right, and then one more. So you guys, I got 2 blocks done. Look at that. 1, 2. Yay. Just 900 more to go. It's not that much, but it feels like it. All right, ladies. It's almost 5 here in Seattle, so I'm going to get off. Oh, it's the Scotland flag. Nice. I didn't know that, Carol. I'm going to jump off before they cut me off. Thank you very much for joining me. Monday, I will be, thank you. My blocks look pretty. Vintage and Homespun says. I am going to be back on Monday for my continuing series called Ask the Doctor. If you guys are having any questions or problems with your, thank you for coming on and joining me so I'm not talking to myself like a crazy lady. Where you guys, I answer your questions about the featherweight. You can email into the shop over the weekend, info, I-N-F-O, at featherweightdoctor.com. We also have a full website with all the bits, pieces, parts, all that fun stuff, featherweightdoctor.com. Go ahead and check it out. Thanks for joining me, guys. Thanks, Becky. I got to get your machine in the mail. Hopefully going there in August. Oh, that's fun. Oh, to Roxanne's. Hi, Kathleen Rogers. That's where I got the inspiration for my mini, was a picture that Roxanne posted, my polka dot machine. That's so fun. All right, guys. Have a good weekend. Stay out of trouble. Stay safe and stay inside. And we will all be together at some point, someday. Just probably not before August. We'll talk to you later. Bye.